In this demonstration, we'll take you on the journey of a BMW financial services client interacting with a virtual assistant as he evaluates his options on his current lease as well as a new lease. This is a great example of a custom application built on top of Box, where Box is serving as the data and content hub for responses to customer questions. In the following demo, you will see how Box helps you harness all of the data related to the customer journey, such as the digital copy of your existing lease, a new lease, your ID, such as a license, as well as helps you manage the new lease digital signature process with the DocuSign Box integration. As I enter the BMW garage, I'm greeted by a virtual assistant at the bottom right of the page. You will notice that I'm also personalizing the experience to Greg, which will allow me to create a unique context-rich experience based on the current vehicle that Greg owns. At any time in the journey, I can start interacting with this virtual assistant using natural language, with spelling mistakes, with grammar mistakes, and using different phrasings for the same intent. My first interaction with the virtual assistant will be to look for a BMW credit application, and this is the first intent that I'll type into the bot. So I'll go ahead and type in, I am looking for a BMW credit application in natural language with some spelling mistakes. And you could see that based on this particular intent, I get a response back. But what if I change my phrasing? And I'll ask, show me the BMW credit app. And you can see that based on a different phrasing, the virtual assistant still recognizes the intent of my customer journey and responds back with several options related to this particular intent. And specifically, do I want to take a look at the lease credit application or the purchase credit application? And in my case, I will go ahead and select lease. And let me go ahead and expand that. And you can see that this is my BMW financial service credit application, a full credit application that's available for me that I can even download locally and start filling out. So we have a couple of benefits of using Box in the content as a service approach for this type of use case, and that is single version of the truth, version tracking, and to serve additional use cases such as financial services rep, maybe speaking on the phone with a client, and sharing that credit application externally with the client with one click of a button right from the Box user interface. In addition, Box Relay can provide workflow capabilities for internal stakeholders approving the credit application, and then Box Governance can help with all of the compliance and enterprise security related needs. So let's proceed to the next question in the journey, and that is ask if BMW does leases on pre-owned cars. Pre-owned BMWs are great because they come with an extended warranty, and I will go ahead and ask, does BMW do leases on pre-owned cars?
And vehicle history check. It's the passion of BMW.
In this use case, you can see that I'm streaming the video from Box, where as a digital marketer, I can control the type of video I provide to the client. What's great about storing your rich content in Box is that as a marketer, I can collaborate securely with the digital agency, and any updates I make to my content in Box automatically gets updated in all of my digital experience touchpoints without having to make updates in multiple platforms. To continue my journey, there's a car that Greg loves, and it's the BMW M4, and he's wondering if he can get a virtual brochure. So we'll ask this virtual assistant, do you have an M4 brochure? And you can see there's a full browsable brochure, which I can even expand into full screen mode. Okay, so there's my browsable brochure. And there is my full screen mode and these beautiful cars. And what this illustrates is with Box, you're not limited to textual responses in this virtual assistant. Box enables me to provide rich content such as files, videos, PDFs, where Box serves as my content hub. And in addition, I can apply best-of-breed machine learning services to all of my content while servicing the various digital touch points I have in my experience. So now that I've made my decision on a brand new BMW M4, I took a test drive, I agreed on the price, I put a deposit down at a dealer, and I went home. But let's say I want to finish all of my paperwork without actually going back to the dealer. So I will go ahead and finish my paperwork through my virtual assistant using Box with DocuSign integration. So the first question I will ask is, I would like to finish my lease paperwork. And one of the first things that you'll see is we've created a lease bucket where Greg can submit all of the lease related paperwork for this purchase, such as maybe a license or any additional documentation that Greg may need. You can email that documentation right into Box, okay? Or I can just drag and drop it right into this virtual assistant and my private lease bucket residing in Box that's also accessible to the financial services persona on the BMW side. Okay, and I will go ahead and select a file from my BMW lease folder, and there is my license, so that is what I want to provide first. And you could see a JPEG of my license is now uploaded to Box. Now I will go ahead and finish this workflow by signing my lease agreement. So I will go ahead and type in sign the agreement. And you can see that the virtual assistant is keeping context and knows that you've already submitted a license and now is presenting a secure form from DocuSign. When I click on the secure form, I can go ahead and sign this particular financial services lease agreement. So in this particular example, I'm using the DocuSign integration with the Box for e-signatures, where I'm sending a copy of the lease contract that lives in Box for e-signature, and then having a signed copy returned to the Box folder of my choice. And in this case, it's the lease folder that contains all of my lease related paperwork shared with the credit department at BMW. So now that Greg signed a brand new lease on an M4, he ponders his options with his current lease and asks, what are my end of lease options? And you could see that I have 3 end of lease options that are presented to me. I can select a new BMW, which we already did. I can evaluate my current BMW, or I can repair my current BMW. I will select evaluate, and the virtual assistant responds to me that before heading to a dealer, we're proud to offer a virtual wear and use evaluator. This tool will help you determine if any repairs are needed or if your vehicle has any excess wear or use. Please click next to start the process. So I will go ahead and click next. And the virtual assistant responds that this vehicle evaluator focuses on 3 end of lease items. So tire wear, vehicle dents and dings, and windshield. So the next thing I'll do is I'll take some images of my vehicle on my mobile device, and I will go ahead and upload those images. So for demo purposes, I have those images locally. So I will click upload, and here are my images. I will go ahead and drag and drop them into the virtual assistant and specifically into the lease bucket representing all of my lease related content. So once I upload these images through the virtual assistant, they'll actually show up in Box visible to the BMW vehicle evaluator. So one of these images is for this panel. The other one is for the tire use, and the other one is for the windshield. And this is the older images of my license. So now, inside the virtual assistant, I will go ahead and click evaluate. And you can see that we have evaluated your vehicle and have these results which will further be validated by the dealer. So acceptable as tire wear, as well as windshield, and not acceptable as vehicle dents and dings. In this use case, we're using the Box Skills Framework image intelligence to classify these images as acceptable or not acceptable for the lease return. Where not acceptable, we'll advise the customer of additional charges upon the return of the lease. So whenever a file is uploaded to a folder in Box that has Box skill turned on, the skill is automatically triggered and applies an AI machine learning algorithm to it. The skill then writes the information that was extracted from the file as metadata in Box, and then the virtual assistant reads that metadata and returns back the appropriate results. As virtual assistants and conversational interfaces continue to expand in quality, sophistication, and adoption, managing of rich content and data at scale in these interfaces is something where Box can play a significant role as both a content layer and a data layer, which you can apply the best-of-breed machine learning algorithms and models to for IBM, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. Thank you so much for listening.